YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on week 6 waiver wire ads. I got 10 guys that you should be adding. And listen, most of these guys, I'm pretty sure that your league mates are not really on them or don't know what they are. So I want to make sure that I reassure you that these are good guys and they're going to be breaking out in different quadrants, and you should be picking them up and stashing them even if you can't start them right away. So guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. What's going on, George? What's going on, Siobhan? Siobhan says, tough poll. Grabbed Chase Brown last week, so I couldn't vote for him, but he'll be #1 if I didn't have him already. Yes, sir. Good job, Siobhan. You're going to win a championship. My channel's going to come from the bottom because people are going to be like, you know what, this guy is helping me win. I feel great about this year. I probably only had one kind of so-so year where I had a couple guys that didn't do well. But even with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle having a quarterback that's not healthy right now, I still love the guys that I told everybody to be on. Chase Brown is a guy that I told everybody to be on in the offseason. So, guys, I'm just excited. Let's go. So I'm going to read out these 10 guys. And I'm going to give them a little quick breakdown, and I'm going to get to everybody's questions. So make sure that you put your comment in there and super chat. You know, that gets you straight to the top of the line where I read out your comment immediately. If not, then I will answer in the order that it was wrote. And if you are a member, I would probably skip over some of the guys who are not members and read your comments out first if I can get to it. So I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you become a member of the channel. I'm going to be doing some member-only lives and videos, so you want to make sure you're part of that. Also, guys, give me some recommendations. What would you want as a member of the channel that would make you be cutting edge and help you win week to week? What do you want? I don't want to offer it for everybody, but I'm trying to grow, so it's hard for me just to do a members only. But if y'all give me some recommendations, I will be doing that. So let's not hold everybody up with no further ado. Let's begin. The first guy I want to talk about that I believe is a great pickup for week 6, and I kind of stashed the guy in some dynasty leagues, but didn't really have room on my bench in redraft. It's Jaylen Tolbert from the Dallas Cowboys. What's going on, Big Will? Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Harambe, guys, go subscribe to his channel. Go subscribe to Harambe's channel, guys. Harambe Jungle. Yes, sir. I see you, Chiefs fans. I see you, Tail Dog. I see you, Ian Taylor. I see you, T. Jones in the house. Okay. So, guys, Jaylen Tolbert is the guy that's next up. I'm not saying he's gifted. Usually, I'm telling y'all, look, this guy can play. He can run. He can jump. He's great with 50-50 balls. He's a great route runner. His separation is impeccable. He's high on PFF. None of that stuff is true. The only thing that's true is Jaylen Tolbert was a second-round draft pick coming out of a Division I AA school. So when you come out of Division I AA school, I see you, Nifty. I see you, RG. When you come out of Division I AA school, you got to be really good. I mean, because you got to show these guys, especially drafted in the second round, you got to show these guys, why should I go and draft you when I can go and take a third wide receiver from Alabama that got some upside, like a Jawan Jennings, guys that maybe don't have the stats, but they good players. Jaylen Tolbert, so he was good. I think he came out of, guys, I might be wrong, I think he came out of Alabama, Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, help me out in the chat if he didn't. But Jaylen Tolbert, guys, is no other wide receivers there. Brandon Cooks is out. I think he's on IR. Kevon Turpin, he's a special teams guy. He's not going to get command 8 targets a game. So Jaylen Tolbert is going to be getting one-on-one coverage. Remember, I always tell y'all, he's getting guarded by the number 2 corner. You be like, oh, here we go with this number. Just give me the guys, TD. You talking about the number 2 corner. Nobody cares about that. We just want to give me the guys. Hurry up and get through the video. Hurry up and get through the live. Well, that makes sense. That's why Jordan Addison is going to eat with Justin Jefferson on the other side. That's why Jaylen Tolbert is going to eat with CeeDee Lamb on the other side. That's why T. Higgins is eating with Jamar Chase on the other side. That's why Jameson Williams is eating with Amon-Ra St. Brown on the other side. That matters. Defense can't, when you got weaker corners on you, you're going to be able to exploit these guys. And the safety is not rolling over to the number 2 corner. That's why I love Jalen Waddle. So Jaylen Tolbert, guys, is just going to get 8 targets just because he's the only guy. And once he does that for a few games and have the game that he had last week, Brandon Cooks' value is going to go down. Brandon Cooks has been good in his day, but right now, Brandon Cooks, guys, is over the hill. He's not the player that he used to be. But Jaylen Tolbert is a young stud. And when I say stud, I mean that as he can play, right? Not that he's a superstar, but he can play. He's a good number 2 wide receiver, could be number 3 wide receiver, depending on what team. On Dallas, you could be number 2. So, guys, pick up Jaylen Tolbert and just hold him on your team and just watch his maturity. And eventually, you're gonna have an opportunity to play him as a flex play on a bye week. Shit, he might start doing really, really well, and you start him every week. You never know. So make sure that, guys, you pick up Jaylen Tolbert. I think he's a good player. All right, let's move on to running back. And this guy's from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's going to be Tank Bigsby. Yes, Tank Bigsby. OG Omen, why you gonna stay quiet? Please let me know. If you're gonna watch the video, make sure you hit the like button or hit the thumbs down button. Go ahead, let me know why you're gonna stay quiet. Go ahead and speak your mind. You can speak your mind here. But thanks Bigsby. Guys, I've been telling y'all majority. Now I wasn't big on him in the offseason like that because he was a backup, but I'm like, I like him. I think he's a premium handcuff. And guys, he is. I think Travis Etienne is going to be fine. Even if he gets traded, Travis Etienne is a great pass catcher. So he's going to be fine no matter where he go. But Tank Bigsby can take 20 carries a game, and he's very explosive. So I believe that Tank Bigsby, guys, can be a league winner. And I believe that Travis Etienne would probably be traded before the trade deadline because Jacksonville is struggling. Why would you hold on to a running back when you got to get ready to pay him? He's a first-round pick, so he got a 5th-year option. So you need to go ahead and decline that 5th-year option or trade him right now and move into a Tank Bigsby, who is a 3rd-round pick and ain't making a lot of money, and you can find out what he is if he's going to move forward with your team. If you're going to keep Trevor Lawrence on your team, you're going to keep Tank Bigsby, or you're going to keep Evan Ingram. What are you going to do? Brian Thomas, is he going to be on his team by himself? So they got to make those decisions. So I love Tank Bigsby, guy. I think this guy is going to be a 3rd and 4th quadrant league winner. Very explosive. Pick him up. Stash him. How much waiver wire you want to say? How much waiver wire should I spend on him? Let's do a percentage out of 100. I would say if I went 0 RB, I say I got 2 good running backs. Say I got Saquon and then I got Rico Dowdle, right? I'm probably going to spend 40% on Tank Bigsby and stash him. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I get him. That's why I go over a little bit, guys. Don't go like y'all be asking. I'm listening. I'm about to teach y'all something. A lot of you say, well, TD, how much waiver wires money should I spend? And so say he might be a 20% waiver wire guy. I might tell you 30% because I want you to get him, right? I'm giving y'all the gas. And some of these guys I'm in the league with, they're going to understand. They're like, okay, TD like this guy, I got to overspend. Because I'm going to overspend for the guy that I want on my team. I'm not trying to be perfect with the match of my money because that's how you get beat out. I'm going to go, oh, he's worth 15%. I'm going 25% because I want this guy on my team. Oh, he's a 50% guy. I'm going 60% because I want him on my team. Oh, this is the guy that you're supposed to break the bank for. I'm going 100%. I'm going to spend all my waiver wire money. Say Travis Etienne was out with an injury for the rest of the year and it wasn't coming back. Knock on wood. I would spend 100% of my waiver money on Tank Bigsby. I wouldn't spend 60, 70. I'm spending 100. I'm getting them. If you're going to get them, you're going to have to outbid me. If we got $100, it's going to have to be 100 to 100 and whoever got the priority. So I love Tank Bigsby, guys. Pick him up. I think he's a league winner. I've been talking about him for about 2 or 3 weeks now about stashing him along with some other players. Let's move on. Next guy I want to talk about is a wide receiver. It's Keon Coleman from the Buffalo Bills, the rookie wide receiver. And let me tell you why I'm now on Keon. I was on him in the beginning, but then I told people, listen, you got to move on because they're not using him. But I'm going to tell you why he's going to be good now. So Josh Allen had one of the worst games of his career, and they thought they was going to be the win games, giving it James Cook at certain times of the game. Okay, give it to James. You know what? Take him out. Give it to Ray Davis. Here's Dalton Kincaid. Keon, you came to practice late. We're not going to start you. And then you started getting your ass handed to you because you don't have any. You got to have a guy who can win 50-50 balls. You got to have it. Or you just got to have a certain design offense, be able to get certain players open. So I'm not saying you got to have like a 6'5" guy who can jump up over guys, but you got to have some type of scheme. And their scheme is Khalil Shakir underneath. Curtis Samuel. Curtis! He ain't doing nothing. Let me see. Who's some of these other guys? A lot of these other guys are just, they Jags. They not really doing a lot. So Khalil Shakir is going to be okay, but they need a down the field guy, and Keon is going to be that guy. You see the ball that he caught for the touchdown, so they're going to start using him more and more. And then when they get into that third and fourth quadrant of the season, Keon, we need you fade ball, boom, because he's young, he know the game, he learning the routes, he knows what he needs to do. That's why rookies overtake guys and be great fourth quadrant breakouts, because they got to learn the game, and it takes a little bit of time, just like you at your new job. You might come in your new job, and you might be struggling. Well, what do I do? And you get somebody teaching you, shit, within 6 months, you might be one of the top guys on there, but it took you a while to learn the ropes. And same thing with these young rookies. So I love Keon Coleman. Go pick him up and stash him if you need him, if he's on your waivers. Let's move on to the next guy. The next guy that I want to talk about is going to be Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants. Now, listen, how many Giants have we been talking about? So put some respect on Daniel Jones' name. He's playing good and making guys fantasy relevant. And it ain't just Malik. Y'all thought, wait, only thing he can do is just throw ducks to Malik neighbors, because Malik is some spectacular and Daniel sucks. He don't know how to even, he can't even throw a ball. That is not true. So now I believe that Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a great PPR monster. 8 to 10 targets every single game. 8 to 10 targets. 8 to 10 targets. 8 to 10 targets every single game. Wan'Dale Robinson. This offense is about to get going, guys. You can tell. Look what they did. They played against some tough matchups. They played the Cowboys tough. Even though it wasn't no touchdown scored, they played them tough. Daniel Jones still moved the ball between the 20s. So Wan'Dale Robinson, PPR, full PPR, you got to pick him up and play him as a flex play. I think he's a flex play. Or stash him. I'm not going to drop him. This guy should not be on any waivers. Now, if you're in 8-team leagues, maybe. In 8-team leagues, yeah. But 10 to 12 teams and more, you got to have Wan'Dale. Let's move on to my next guy. This is a running back. All right, hold on, guys. Let me see. Let me change this. Oh, message. I don't want to make sure I don't miss any super chats. Okay. So the next guy I want to talk about is a running back from the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's going to be Chase Brown. Chase Brown. And I saw in the comments earlier, somebody was like, TD been telling us to pick up Chase Brown. I've been telling people to get Chase Brown even in the summer. I said I didn't want no Zach Moss. Now, Zach Moss started off a little bit better than I thought, but I was never trying to pick. I don't have not one share of Zach Moss. Now, don't get it twisted. If somebody drop him and I can pick him up and play him, I will. Walmart, there you go, Robbie. Walmart Eckler. I will pick him up and play him. Zach Moss, if it comes to it. But as far as if I have to pick a guy and draft it, I'm drafting Chase Brown. Why? I'm about to give y'all a secret. I don't draft running backs, one-dimensional running backs most of the time, right? I want guys who can catch passes because that's game script. That's the new NFL. When teams are down, let's go to 10 points or more, then the pass-catching running back is going to be in the game. If you can't catch passes, you can't get out there. So that's why Derrick Henry, his whole career, he rushed for 2,000, but he had games where he only had like 60% snap percentage because they was down by 21 points. And outside of waiting till you get to the goal line or the green zone and put it back in, you can't play Derrick Henry. He can't go out and run a real route. Man, maybe he can. They just don't use him that way. That's not his expertise, right? So Chase Brown is always going to be good. He's not game script dependent. He can handle 20 carries, and he can also catch passes out the backfield at any time of the game. So I love Chase Brown. I think he could be a league winner. That's the guy that I want. Moving on to a quarterback. This is a quarterback. Single quarterback, super flex. It doesn't matter. Trade, targets, whatever you want to do with this video. Daniel Jones. Now, listen, I'm not telling you, oh, Daniel, he's back and he's going to be the MVP. No, but he's very I think he's a great quarterback to play on bye weeks in matchup. If he got an easy matchup, I'm playing him. Now, if he got a tough matchup, I think he's going to be okay, but it's still, I still think Daniel Jones is going to be a solid quarterback. I think he's going to finish as a top 12 quarterback this year, so pick him up if you need to play matchups with quarterbacks. Some of y'all play matchups, and I respect it. I tell y'all not to do it, but I know some of you going to do it anyway because you're playing 8-team leagues, so it's always green beans and candy out there to pick up, so I understand that. But Daniel Jones is a great guy to play on with a great matchup. Long story short, I love Daniel Jones. All right, let's move on to a running back. And this guy has a bye week, but you got to get him this week. You got to get him this week. It's going to be Ty Chandler. Yes, Ty Chandler, guys. Ty Chandler, he's very explosive, but I think he just needs a little bit more reps. He fumbled because he's not getting the reps. Aaron Jones is playing out of his mind, but Aaron Jones got a hip injury. Now, he could be back healthy after the bye week, but I'm going to still stash Ty Chandler. Stash Ty Chandler because when the guy can take one carry to the crib. I mean, I ain't seen any Aaron Jones, but they kind of the same player. Fast, small guys, but they run hard, right? So stash Ty Chandler. Stash him, and you got to keep him on your team to hold. If you got Aaron Jones, you got to have Ty Chandler on your team every single week. You can never drop him because you never know what's going to happen to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones probably has finished one season without missing a game. So you kind of know it's coming. And just to get off topic, this guy's not on this list, but kind of guys like James Conner, he's always missing a game. So if you want to pick up his backup, that's fine because these guys, I mean, trends happening. They getting hurt every year. It's going to be prepared for it. Guys getting hurt every year. Be prepared for that. Aaron Jones never played a whole season. It could happen, but it's never happened. I think maybe one time, like his rookie season. Same thing with James Conner. You want to be able to pick up Trey Benson. All right, let's move on to a wide receiver. And this kind of like one of the guys that I don't think your league makes his own, but I'm on him. It's going to be Alec Pierce, the wide receiver from the Indianapolis Colts, the second-year wide receiver. I think it's his second year. Pretty sure it's the second year. It might be his third year. But this is the type of guy that I like. This is like that Christian Watson type. Christian Watson to me is a little bit better, but this is the Christian Watson part. Guys, Alec Pierce is getting 3 catches and still getting 120 yards. I'm telling you, if I'm looking for a bye week replacement, say I got a wide receiver who's catching about 5 or 6 passes a game for about 40 or 50 yards, giving me about 8 to 10 points every week, and he maybe had one good week above 15. But I can go pick up Alec Pierce. I'm probably going to play Alec Pierce over that safe wide receiver because he can go for 30 point, 40 point, 30 point, 40 point, 30 point, 40 point. Yes, Josh Downs over Pierce. I agree. Yes, Josh Downs is over Pierce. He's more safer, but Pierce has got that boom. So I wanna always build up. I need to put in a wide receiver. I'm putting in Alec Pierce. Your opponent gonna be nervous. Your opponent will be nervous playing against because they were like, well, the matchup is not good, but he played good against bad matchups. Man, I hope he don't go for 30. Please don't let him go for 30. That's what he can do. Now your opponent playing, he taking out safe guys. He nervous. Now he make a bad decision, and then you can come and beat him, even if Alec Pierce only go for 5 points. So guys, Alec Pierce is one of my waiver wire pickups this week. I love Alec Pierce. I love everybody on this list that I have, guys. Just depending on what you need for your team. All right, let's move on to the next guy. And this is like, I play in like deep leagues, right? So this is a guy that I probably gonna have to pick up in one of my leagues because I got 2 running backs that's out. Mr. Anderson said Alec Pierce or Marvin Harrison. Stop it. Ain't nobody on that, bro. Ain't nobody can do that but you. Ain't nobody playing no Alec Pierce over Marvin Harrison, bro. Marvin Harrison all day. But I get what you're saying. Hey, guys, Mr. Anderson, he don't care. He will play. If Saquon started struggling and Chase Brown had a couple good games, he'll sit Saquon for Chase Brown. Yes, I said what I said. He'll do that. I won't do it unless Saquon is hurt or something. I'm not sitting no superstar. But anyway, but this guy is a running back and is from the Houston, Texas, and it's Ogunbowale. Dare Ogunbowale. I know I might be killing his name. Please don't name check me because I don't really care about the name, but I get it. So, but yes, so Daryl Bawale, guys, I think this is a bye week replacement. I don't want Cam Akers. He's not explosive enough. I want Derek because Derek's going to be in that negative game script where he's going to catch passes. That's the key in full PPR. Sometimes guys is not going to get a full road, especially in this type of NFL. You got running back by committees. But if a guy is catching passes and they rely on him to catch those passes and you can see that, then that's the guy that I think you should be wanting to play. So, but yeah, so yes, I love Daryl Ogunbowale, guys. Pick him up. I think he's a great deep stash, deep waiver wire play if you need him. Now he's not a guy that's got a future. Joe Mixon probably gonna come back and stuff, but he's a great spot start with all these running backs being out from Houston. All right, guys. Last but not least, another deep pickup is going to be Ameer Abdullah. Right, Robbie. Facts. Facts. Yeah, he had 6 catches. So Ameer Abdullah, guys, deep. That's a guy that you pick up. You don't got nobody else to play. All your running backs out on bye weeks. What should I do? Is nobody out there? Ameer and Dare are guys that you can pick up and play them. They're gonna catch passes. I don't want nobody on Las Vegas except for Brock Bowers. I told y'all that yesterday when I did the breakdown. I don't want nobody on Las Vegas. Trey Tucker is good. I like him, but he gave me that bad game. I can't go to him no more. Not like that. If I pick him up, I'm gonna tell you, hey, you know what he is? I had said he was gonna be like a breakout receiver because he's there by himself and they got to trade Devontae Adams. I'm not saying that anymore. But Ameer Abdullah is okay to play if you don't have anybody else. What's going on, Stacy? Okay, so let's get to some of these questions. All right, excuse me, guys. Let me put my mouse on the other side. All right, there we go. Thank you, Taj. I see you. All right, let's see here. Joel says, "What up, TD? What up, bruh? T. Jones says nervous, but nervous about Brian Thomas Jr. in London versus Chicago. Should I be? No, because what else you gonna turn to? You gonna say, well, it's in London, so let me sit Brian Thomas Jr. for Tyler Lockett, and I'm just using Tyler Lockett because I can't think about nobody else right now, or Tim Patrick, or Portland Sutton. You're gonna have to pay Brian Thomas, and I get the question. You know, it's a great question because London does bring value down on players in that early game, but it's Brian Thomas Jr. He has established himself. You see, y'all call him BTJ. He ain't no normal Rick. Yeah, right. Yeah, Tim Patrick, right? Right. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Why would you gonna have to play Brian? You got to feel great about him. That's how I play fantasy, bro. That's what I do. That's my thing. Like I got if Zay Flowers, guys. I played him last week with no hesitation. I'm like, oh Zay, yeah, boom. Now if I got like a stud running back or a handcuff running back and that starter is hurt, then it could get tough sometimes for some of my flex guys that I usually just put in with no hesitation. But not Brian Thomas Jr. Don't be nervous. You start him. George says I picked up Tracy last week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Siobhan says, TD, I need a kicker too. San Francisco Moody will be out for 1 month, high ankle sprain. This is what I tell you, Siobhan. Listen, they say don't give a person a fish, teach them how to fish. Go to games that's gonna be played in the inside and go to teams who score a lot of points. It's that simple. Don't be looking like, oh, you can overlook for kickers. That shit don't matter. Now, defenses, you can do some research and it can add up and it can make sense to what is going to happen on Sunday. But kickers, bro, you could be a sorry kicker. You didn't miss 3 field goals in a row. The next time you know, you come out and you make 4 in a row in one game and end up being the number 1 kicker. So just go to and play a kicker who got the most point. I mean, whose team is scoring a lot of points, always putting up about 21 points a game, and just play them. That's what you do. Right, MD. Right. MD, real quick, I'm gonna read out his comment. He says, bruh, I've been playing fantasy for 9 years. I've learned you just stick with what you got and play your studs most of the time. You right. That's facts, bruh. That's facts. Siobhan on the Pro Bowl crew. Appreciate that, Siobhan. Always showing support to the channel. How did you find me, Siobhan? Did you find me on Facebook? I think Siobhan found me on Facebook. Appreciate that. Okay. Ian Taylor said, thanks for taking the time out to help our teams, TD. Anytime, Ian always being very respectful. Are you from the country, Ian? Because Ian always like, he like, hey, TD, man, sorry to bother you, man. Hey, I got a question. He always, man, I respect that from him, man. I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, man, this is what I do. I can't wait till I leave my 9 to 5 and do this full time. I can't wait till I do this 9 to 5. Siobhan says, TD, okay, we did that one already. We did that one already. Chiefs fan says, wish I did fantasy this year. Bro, you didn't play fantasy? Wow, I can't, bro. I don't care. I could be homeless. I'm gonna knock on somebody's door. I'm gonna knock on the shelter door. Somebody gonna give me a cheap Obama phone, and I'm gonna log into a league, and I'm gonna play fantasy. It's done for. I don't care if I'm on crack. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm going to play fantasy football. You're not going to stop me from playing fantasy football. It's a wrap. I'm living. I'm playing fantasy football. My last wish on my deathbed, where's my phone? Let me check my fantasy teams. Who I'm going to give my fantasy teams to? That's how I feel about fantasy and football. I love it. Going down with the ship. Obama phone. Be quiet. Shh. They don't know nothing about that Obama phone. I had one. Guys, I was poor. I wasn't gonna say poor. I had a place to stay. I was staying with my father, but I had an Obama phone. I was dating girls, and she used to make fun of me. Look at this little phone. I said, okay. I call her now. She won't answer the phone. Look at the phone I got now. My phone costs more than yours. Anyway, let me move on. Let me stay on topic. Tail Dog, what's up, bro? He said start Kyler Murray or Fields moving forward. Trade which one? Trade Fields. You got to start Kyler Murray. Now listen, I usually would tell somebody when it's, say if you had Jaden Daniels and you had Josh Allen, I would tell you to trade Josh Allen because you could get more for him, and then you can still have a really good quarterback because Jaden Daniels can end up being a top 3 quarterback. But in this instance, I can't rely on Fields. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to do that. So what I'm gonna tell you is you start Kyler Murray every single week. Don't worry about down weeks. He's gonna be okay. He can play, man. Guys that can play, they go through 2 games maybe. Rarely you see 3 bad games from a quarterback that's an NFL protege, right? Kyler Murray is special, so he's gonna be okay. You see the 50-yard touchdown. So coming off the knee injury. So start Kyler Murray every week. Harami says, yo, TD. Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Big Will said he's going for Tolbert. I like Tolbert too. I think he's a great number 2 wide receiver to have on your team. I think they want to give him that role. He's finally got it. It took him 3 years to get there. They thought he was going to be able to come out as a rookie and play, but he wasn't good enough. He wasn't mature enough. Now he's ready to take over on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. Then he said also, I like Caleb. Yes, I like Caleb. I told you I got to be patient. Y'all be passing these players around like, like what I'm about to say. You passing around like you passing around girls in Las Vegas or something. Like, don't pass around these players. Stick with one. Be married to your players if you believe in them. Don't be frugal with the get off my team. You suck. TD, man, he played good today. Man, I'm going to have to pick him up, but hopefully I can. Don't drop your players. Caleb's going to be okay. Now, can he stop you from winning the championship because he's maturing slow? Yes. But that's the name of the game. That's why you should have a strong team, and it gives you a chance of a young quarterback to mature on your team. If you got a really good team, you got like Saquon, Kyron Williams, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, Trey McBride, DK, then you can let Caleb mature, and him having 15 points and the other opponent quarterback goes for 22, you okay. You okay. You can manage the storm. Siobhan, appreciate the super chat. Yes, ma'am. She says, I found you on YouTube. I can't use the regular chat for some reason. Laugh out loud. Okay. Did somebody block you? Let me see, Siobhan. Let me make sure that you ain't been blocked. No, you should not. Okay, I made you a moderator, Siobhan, so you should be able to comment. You should. I made you a so you should be able to comment. All right. RG in the house, guys. RG, that's my homeboy. Great fantasy player. Great fantasy player. He plays in a couple of my leagues. Appreciate you being here, bruh. Chiefs fan says Joe Flacco. No, I like Joe Flacco. I told people to pick him up. I don't know what's going to happen with. I don't know who they're going to start this week. So hold on to both. Hold on to AR. Do not drop Joe. If you got AR, Joe Flacco is a pure handcuff. I've never really seen a handcuff like that ever for quarterbacks. I kind of felt it a little bit with Lamar in the past. I felt it with some other quarterbacks that was a little bit volatile. But Joe Flacco is a pure handcuff. He's just as much of a handcuff as Tank Bigsby is for Travis Etienne. So if you got AR, you got to go get Joe Flacco. Now, it might be too late. Somebody probably going to overcharge you. But I would want to have Joe Flacco on my team. I would want to have Joe Flacco on my team. Durf boy, what's up, bruh? Nifty says, yes, sir. Appreciate you being here, Nifty. Chiefs fan says, I still like Wicks. I need the Chiefs to trade for Watson. Come on now. I listen, I like that. I'm worried about the Watson thing going to Kansas City. If he go to Kansas City, if he go to Kansas City, you better watch out. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Christian Watson's coming to town. I said what I said. I love Christian Watson. If he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, it's over. Now, Wicks, man, hey, listen. I'm biased. I'm biased as hell. For him to get all that steam, Wicks, man, Wicks all summer, balling between games, and he finally get the work, he finally get the whole thing to himself, and he flop and drop 2 passes. Oh, hell no. I'm never pick. Now, I'm not saying I won't have you on my team, because I do what it takes to win, but I'm never gonna be, Dontavius Wicks. I'm not doing it. You just gonna be, Wicks, yeah, he's solid. That's what he is from now on. Wicks, he's solid. He ain't gonna be, Dontavius Wicks, yeah, that's for sure. He ain't that no more until he go out and ball by himself 2 or 3 games. I just thought that was a meltdown. Tail Dog says, time to drop Juan Jennings. You can. He's a spot start depending on how deep your league is. But yes, you can drop him just depending on what it's for. He says, you said what you said. You don't drop players. Thanks for your content. Right. Now, I don't drop players, but you can't. Listen, do what you got to do to win. See, I build my teams where I don't have to drop players, right? Like, I'm not going to drop guys because I believe in them. I know eventually they're going to hit, or I'm just going to go down with the ship and lose and not make it to the playoffs or lose. So it depends on, bro. If you need to go and you see a player out there on waivers and you need to pick them up, pick them up. But if you ain't nobody out there better than Juwan, then you good. Hold on to Juwan. Just don't drop him just to drop him because he ain't have a big game. It's all about what's out there and who gonna be better for your team that you're gonna play. Don't go pick up somebody that you ain't gonna never be able to get in your lineup and drop Juan when you needed to play Juan later and then Juan gone. That's how I look at it. Brian Ortega, he says, YouTube. Chiefs fan says, Robert was nice in college. Robert who? Let me know what Robert you talking about, Chiefs fan. I'm watching at the bottom of the chat. Put it in there. Who Robert was? Who was Robert? Which Robert we talking about? Brian Ortega says Cooks is cooked. He is. He had a nice career though. I ain't got nothing bad to say. Mr. Agma. Sorry, man, if I'm killing your name. Appreciate you being here, bruh. Or Muragma. But anyway, he says, Bigsby or Tracy, who do I get? I have the #1 waiver priority. Okay, so I have the #1 waiver priority. I don't know if I'm going to use it on Bigsby. I have a great team. I have a really good team. I'm like 4-1 in that league. I got plenty of running back depth. I don't need Bigsby, but I don't want to leave him out there. I don't know yet. I'm still waiting to about 12 o'clock tonight until I go to bed. I don't know if I'm going to pick up Bigsby with my #1 waiver priority. So I just want to tell you what I'm doing. So I don't know, bruh. If you are got a really good team, I don't know if you should do it now. If you are 500, hell yeah, go get Bigsby, stash him, because ain't nobody else coming out there right now, and you got to win immediately. It's up to you. If you use it on them, I think it's going to help. It's a long-term investment. You know how you can, if you need money to pay your bills in a week, you can't go and just say, well, I'm investing in a stock, because it's not going to happen in a week. So if you going long term, Bigsby is the play. Short term, Tracy is the play. So if you need somebody to play this week and going to ball out, because I don't think Devin Singletary is going to be healthy, Tracy would be okay for this week. But Bigsby is the better play overall for long term, because I believe that Travis Etienne will get traded. Siobhan says, I hope everyone is doing good so far. Plagued with injuries. Rice, A-Chain, Devontae Smith, and Nell Mooney. But I won last night's game because of Rashid Shaheed. TD been on him for a while. Thank you, Siobhan. Great job. Great job. That's why I told you, other players will help you when you're struggling. They will boom for you. And then when all your guys come back in the middle of the season, now you got this tremendous team that's balling out of their mind. Charlie Lewis, what's up, Charlie? He says Juju or Tolbert on waivers. I'm going to go with Tolbert for long term. I'm going with Tolbert. Especially with the volume of the way Dak passes the ball. I'm going with Tolbert. Brian says, Ferguson the #2 target. He is, but Tolbert is the wide receiver, so he got to get the targets. Ferguson can't get 12 targets a game, so Tolbert's going to get about 6 targets a game, and that's just me giving him a nice floor. User 279 said TD told us to pick up Ty Chandler weeks ago. Right. Facts. Facts. Chiefs fan 211 said Tolbert was nice in college. Right. Okay. Yes, he was. I think he went to Alabama, Birmingham, right? Am I wrong? Chief says Tank should start. Hey, I hate to say it, but you're right. But I like Etienne. I think Etienne is like he's kind of like Jerick McKinnon was for Kansas City. You know how Jerick McKinnon was killing because he can catch passes and he can run between the tackles at times too. That's what I believe about Etienne. But Tank needs to be getting some work. Pause. User says, TD, I got offered Marvin Harrison Jr. and Travis Etienne for B. John. What you think? It depends, bro. I don't know your team. You're gonna have to let me know what you need. So if you needed a wide receiver to start as a wide receiver 2 or 3, and Etienne wasn't, you had other talent. No, don't keep. No. I like Marvin Harrison,
but
I don't like the ETN for B John. I don't like you giving up B John. I think you should weather the storm with B John right now. I think you should weather the storm right now with B John. Marvin Harrison, listen, that's going to be a great player in the third or fourth quadrant. So I'm not going to lie to you. But ETN, his value is on week to week. So he just trying to push that off on you to try to get B John. I would tell him to give me something else, maybe a little lower than ETN, like a Christian Watson or something like that, or another player that I could use later. And and if you got other good running backs, I would give up B John for Marvin Harrison. But that's only if you got a strong running back team. I'm not doing it if I don't have a strong running back team, because B John gonna be solid in the third and fourth quadrant. Chiefs fan says exactly what I was thinking. Ed Tay said, you think I should take this trade, Josh Allen for Rashid Shaheed? Don't take Josh Allen. Don't take Josh Allen. I would say Najee rest of the season. I think Najee gonna be a great third, fourth quadrant player, Harambe. Chiefs fan says in the preseason I knew he was a starter. Right. Facts. Arnell Mickle, what's up, bro? He said San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks Thursday night. Who wins? I'm going with San Francisco. The reason why, because Seahawks play them strong, but I'm going with San Francisco because they just lost. Debo is coming off an injury. They didn't use a lot of Debo because they want him to get fully healthy. Ayuk just balled out. Kittle is going to be okay. Purdy didn't have the greatest game. They coming out to try to win this game. They going to go full force to try to win this game. So I'm going with San Francisco. But it's going to be a tight game. And this is the NFL.
Appreciate the question,
Arnell. Conscious Machine says, here, let's go. Hit that like button. Yes, sir, Conscious Machine. All right, thank you, Conscious, for deleting that at the chat. I saw what you deleted. Appreciate that, bro.
Chiefs fan says, you think the Packers
would trade Watson or Dobbs? I think they might trade Dobbs. I think they like Watson a lot. I think Watson's really on the low their number one wide receiver that they can trust against other corners most of the time. And I think they want to keep him and groom him into the wide receiver that they believe he can be if he can stay healthy.
T. Jones says, drop
Ladd or Leggett for Bigsby. Right now, man, I don't like to drop Leggett, but I'm going to tell you Leggett for Bigsby if I had to choose one of those guys. I don't think Leggett is a drop, but if you got to choose between those two guys, I would say Leggett. Ladd, man, I think he's a PPR monster. I think he's going to be getting a lot of underneath PPR points. I have Mason, B-Rob, Jr., and Hunt with CMC taking up a spot on my bench and Pacheco on IR. Your running backs are right. You got Brian Robinson Jr., Kareem Hunt, Mason. Yeah, I would definitely try to pick up Bigsby, though. I say his Leggett is okay to drop because you got to drop somebody to get him. Me, I would let Pacheco go. That's just me, though. I would try to trade him for something. I'm being disingenuous because I know what Pacheco is in his draft capital. But Leggett is okay to drop. Conscious says, I have Dobbs. I am a Packer fan, and yes, I believe they told him they were shopping him, and that's why he went MIA. Okay. Wow. Conscious says, as a Pack fan, I think they should trade Watson. I'm okay with it as long as he goes to a good spot, but I think they on the low need him. If they didn't, they would try to keep Dobbs and get rid of Watson. Chiefs fan says, I prayed the Chiefs trade, y'all. I prayed the Chiefs trade, y'all. Yeah, y'all need Devontae Adams or somebody. Christian Watson, D-Hop. I heard about D-Hop. D-Hop can be going there. Conscious says Whittington has increased his fantasy points every week. TD, I know he is. Also, Cooper Cup and Puka is coming back eventually, and so it's going to be tough for Whittington to. He's a spot start, and he's good for a spot start. But I don't think he has, unless something happens to Cooper Cup or Puka, I don't think he has a lot of value for long term. I think he's a spot week replacement. Chiefs fan says, I think we can give y'all a second or fourth for Watson. Okay. Yeah,
I would like that.
I like him to go to Kansas City. MD says, yo, are you trading Mondre, Javonte, and Keon Odiza for B-Rob? I would trade Odunze and Keon or Javonte. I wouldn't trade Mondre. I'm okay with you trading Mondre, but you probably can't start him. I think you need to hold on to Ramondre, bro. When it gets cold, you need running backs. I don't care if, as long as they starting, that's all that matters. Chief fan says Slayton been that guy. Darius has been balling, but I think Wan'Dale Robinson is the guy that I would trust and want to play. I know, man. It seems rough, don't it? I don't know if Cooper Kupp gonna be able to stay healthy. I'm hoping that Puka can stay healthy. I got a couple shares of Puka, but I get what you're saying. So maybe Whittington does have the road that you're saying. It's possible. Harami Jungle says Walmart Austin Eckler. Yes, sir. MD says if Chase Brown been anybody waivers, you playing a Mickey Mouse league for sure. I don't know, man. Sometimes people play in 8 and 10 team leagues, MD. That's why I have to, because listen, bro, I used to be like you, and I wouldn't even talk about players that, I know he ain't on waivers, and then I would go and do a video, and then I would find out, they would be like, TD, what about this guy? I'm like, he on your waivers? And then people were like, hey, man, you made a good video. Why you didn't have this guy? I'm like, well, I thought we all knew that he wasn't on waivers. So to me, bro, when you teaching, you have to assume that nobody knows. You have to do that. So I got to assume that he's on waivers. That's why I did 10 guys. I used to just do like Alec Pierce and Wale, and I would do all these deep guys, pause, and people would be like, well, what about Daniel Jones? And what about Chase Brown? And what about Tank Bigsby? And I know kind of, I got a little flow, and I just go with whatever the consensus people are talking about, I'm going to mention them, and then I'm going to mention my sleepers too. 7. What's up, bro? He says, are we starting Chase Brown this week? I have him in all 3 leagues, drafted him in the late round. Yes, start him. Start him. Dynasty Football Key, guys, go subscribe to his channel. Great Dynasty Football content. Guys, I'm telling you, you got to go check out our Patreon where we did phenoms. And these rookies, like Brian Thomas Jr., I was on them. I said he's on that Patreon list. That's so if you've been a part of the Patreon, you could get all of that. You could be looking at that and like, oh, you know what? They got some cutting edge people on here, and it hit. Wasn't nobody talking about Brian Thomas Jr. doing this. Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, he all right. He can't run routes. Look what Brian Thomas is now. Conscious Machine says, click those 3 dots in the right corner and press up that thumb. Yes, appreciate that. Conscious Machine says, matchups are for DFS, not fantasy. Facts. Chief said, matchups in fantasy should be for defenses, max. Facts. Y'all preaching. Chief says, I can't trust certain players. I just can't. Right. 7 says, Josh Downs over Pierce. Yes. Far as consistency, Josh Downs is a start every week. He's a top 30 wide receiver in rankings, not like how he going to finish. I believe he can finish in the top 24, but he's a top 30 wide receiver. Alec Pierce is like top 42, but he can come in and be a top 12 wide receiver any week with his boom, but he's not consistent. Josh Downs is a lot more consistent. Conscious says, TD, I have Nico and Jameer. Could I trade Walker or Mason for Montgomery and Dale? So TD,
I have Nico.
and Jameer. Could I trade Walker, Kenneth Walker, or Mason for Montgomery and Dale?
Yes, you could do that.
I wouldn't want to trade Mason with the CMC thing, but I heard CMC is getting close, so maybe if that's what you're thinking.
I like Dale, but
But Montgomery, I believe, man, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be that guy in the third and fourth quadrant. They're going to need him. The big plays. People might start locking down on Montgomery. Maybe not. Maybe Montgomery end up being a top 12 running back again. But I definitely like Dale, especially with Nico having that hamstring. And bro, you've been on Nico, man. You was right, man. Nico probably could have been the number 1 wide receiver this year. I ain't no cap. You've been on Nico. You said he was like that.
and the value that you got.
Got him in your keeper league. That's crazy too.
I've been
Been thinking about offering this trade all year. I wanted to pair Texans wide receivers and Lionbacks. Okay. So I guess you could trade. Yes, I probably would trade.
I don't know. I'm gonna let you choose.
Choose between Walker and Mason. I really like Mason, man. He's on an offense that's going to always run them. I know CMC is coming back. I don't know what to trust. I don't know if he's going to actually come back or when he's going to come back, and if he gets the total workload when he does come back. Conscious says, I've been playing Chiefs defense all year. Great job. I got him in a lot of leagues too. I'm playing them. Jeff Zucker, he says, Mahomes and Jacobs for Debo and Pacheco. I have Jordan Love. I like that you traded Mahomes, and I understand that you probably got another good running back, but I'm not big on trading for Pacheco, especially with Kareem Hunt being on the team now, because when Pacheco comes back, Kareem Hunt going to stay on that team, and he's going to get 30 or 40% of the workload. They might go 50-50 with both of them. And Kareem Hunt might start out playing Pacheco because Kareem Hunt might get hot. So I like that you're trading for Debo, but I would say go for something a little bit better than Pacheco. So I'm okay with you trading Mahomes and Jacobs. I like Debo, but I would try to get something better than Pacheco.
Travis says double tap
The screen to hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Chief says, conscious smart man. He is.
Mr. Anderson says
Alec Pierce or Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison all day. Conscious said, or I could try to get Diggs for Mason. No, I'm not big with the Diggs. Diggs only has CMC. No. So that, I mean, I see how you can make that trade happen, but I think you should get something better than Diggs. He's Chiefs fan says Walker who? I think he's talking about Kenneth Walker. MD says, Mr. Anderson, let me hop in a league with you. Let's see. Let's see
here. Let me get my spot back, guys.
Let me get my spot, guys.
Okay, there we go. MD says, yo, TD,
Can you help me with a couple trade questions? Yeah, I got you, MD. I got you. Chief says, don't trade for Dale. I think you should trade for Dale. Trade for Dale. Harami says 6 catches for Dare last week. Yes, sir.
MD says once
you done with this. Right. I got you. Just put it in the chat. Todd says, just here to leave a like. Keep it up, bro. Appreciate you. Chiefs fan says, I wouldn't, but I would try to get Montgomery. I think he was responding to another comment. Chiefs fan says that offense has to go through Bowers. I've been saying this. You right. Gil, what's going on, Gil? He says Bronco or Texan defense this week. I'm going with the Texans defense. I think they got a great matchup. I mean, because I remember I write down, well, the guys that I look at the matchups and I know what teams that I like. But let me make sure.
Let's see here.
Okay.
There we go. Let me see who they playing. Yeah, the Patriots.
So yeah, I'm going with I'm definitely going with the Texans.
Against the Patriots. What's going on, Elisa?
Elisa, how did you find me?
Because I think I'm getting
You and Siobhan mixed up. One of y'all found me through Facebook, which I don't never really get a lot of people from Facebook. 40 like, 50 like. I like that conscious. YouTube, okay. Okay, Elisa. Thank you.
Let's see.
Yankee says Brian Thomas Jr. or Deontay this week. Brian Thomas Jr. I love Deontay, but he's not start every week anymore. It's all about Andy Dalton if he got a great matchup. So I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. is a wide receiver 2. He's a must start every week. And if he have another big game, he's going to be a wide receiver 1. Listen, guys, I hate to say this. I'm not telling you to do this. But say if I had a feeling that Tyreek Hill wasn't going to, Tua wasn't going to come back, I would trade Tyreek Hill for Brian Thomas Jr. Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but if you don't like the way it's looking and you don't think Tua going to be right for the rest of the year or he's going to get hurt again, Brian Thomas Jr. is the guy that I feel great that I would get off. You know how I feel about Tyreek Hill, my favorite player, one of, I say, top 3 players of all time, maybe number 1. I don't know. I'm okay with getting off him and going to Brian Thomas Jr. So Brian Thomas Jr. over Deontay this week. Deontay, do not drop him, but you only can start him in good games. What's going on, Papat? Appreciate you being here. Elisa says I won 2 out of the 3 matchups this week. Way to go, Elisa. Yep, we got 42 likes. 7 says ETN Metcalf for James Cook, half PPR. I be giving away James Cook. No, why are you going? ETN James Cook is lateral. Both of them catch a lot of passes. I actually think James Cook might be a little bit better running back right now, the way things are going for that team. So I would say no. Keep James Cook.
Keep James Cook.
Dirkboy says I have $76 left in Fab. How much to spend on Bigsby? I don't know your whole team, bro, but I would say about $40 to $45. I know, listen, you might be able to get him for 25, but we can't. Can you take that risk? If you can take the risk and you don't need him, Durf, and you got a good record, the perfect amount for him, I would say, would probably be about $20. 20, because ETN is still healthy, right? ETN is still on the team. But if you are in a very competitive league and you need running back depth and you know, like, you want to be able to play Bigsby as your starter because the other guys can be volatile at sometimes, I would say you got to spend $40 to get them, to make sure. And you don't be upset if you spend $15 over everybody else. If you got to get a player, you got to get them. Now, you don't want to spend $65, but 40 would be the most. And if you really want to get them, and I wouldn't go no lower than $30.
And you still might not get them.
Somebody might bid 50.
Yes, I heard about that.
Big Will. Drake May will be playing. I've been telling people to stash Drake May. Stash him. Stash him. I'm not telling you start him this week, but stash him. Eric says, any suggestions for quarterback stream with Donald on bye?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
That's one. It might be
One more other guy out there. Maybe let me see
here. What else would be out there? The Browns got a great matchup,
but I can't tell anybody to play Deshaun Watson at this point in time.
Yeah, Daniel Jones
would be a great stream with Eric B. MD says, bruh, I've been okay. We did that one. Yep. Conscious says, play your studs. Chiefs fan says, facts, get on the Manning cast. He says, facts, get on that Manning cast. Okay. C.H. Jefferson said, I'm glad the fantasy community got TD. Only one keeping it real. Yes. That's one thing I'm 100% on. I'm going to keep it real. 100%. Anytime, Eric B. Anytime, bruh. That boy watching that whole live. Most time when I respond to people questions and I don't get to it immediately, they stray off. But I'm gonna try to get better, guys. I get a little bit more volume of people coming in on my phone, so I don't pop the question up, and I can't. It's hard for me to skip to my members. So, guys, I try to every now and then I try to skip, but I apologize. Yes, Conscious, almost 50 likes. Let's get the likes up, guys. We only got 43. Let's get it up to 50. Perfect Black says, big up the TDs. What do you think of Anaya Smith? Bruh, you got me. Who is Anaya Smith? Let me put that in the Google. Who is Anaya Smith? Oh, he a safety? Because he's on a 21 practice window for rookie wide receiver. I don't know, bruh. Let me see. I'm looking at some things about him right now. I want to see where he played at in college. Okay. He professional football running back and wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played at Texas A&M. Okay. Anaya Smith. I don't know, bro. I ain't watched them. I'm gonna have to do some research on them. Guys, you hear we got somebody out here. This guy might be a sleeper. I have people come on my channel all the time and mention some deep sleepers and they hit. So, Nia Smith, that's a good one. C.A. Jefferson said, y'all think AR cooked this season? No, I don't. I think he would get better. Oh, Steve Smith's son? Wow. I guess, and I hate to say this and I apologize. Maybe the apple fell far from the tree because, like, he ain't nobody talking about him. That don't mean anything, though. Because guys can be late bloomers and they can end up blooming into somebody special. Okay. Thanks for putting me on game, Perfect Black. Ian says, okay, Ian, I can tell you still got respect. I know a little bit about the Jamaican culture. We had like a world fair when I was like in middle school, and we had to go to each classroom, and each classroom was a country or like a city. Just depends on how popular it was. And Jamaican was one, and we learned a lot. But yeah, man, you got a lot of respect, bro. You're always very respectful in the chat. No matter what I got, what I'm saying, or what I'm doing. So I appreciate that. He says, I'm Jamaican, came to America as a teen, gave up soccer for football. Got you. I'm telling you, that football is something special. Chiefs fan said, I wasn't adding to fantasy until my GM cheated me and changed the fantasy rules before the draft and told everyone but me. Wow. Yeah. So you got to find good um commissioners. If you don't find a good commissioner, bruh, you can get in a bad league and they'll take your money and everything. Big Wheel says someone dropped AR5 in one of my leagues, so I had to pick him up. You definitely did. What do you think about him long term this season with Flacco? I think it's going to be okay. But I won't be shocked if they say kind of push him back and say, well, let's watch Flacco and create some type of story to make it okay. They don't want to do like they did to Bryce Young, like Carolina did, right? So that could happen, but I still like AR, man. I still think you should hold on for the chance that he comes in because he was getting ready to win that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. People say, no, he wasn't. Yes, he was. Did you see that throw? Did you see how they was moving the ball? So I think they would have won that game last week if AR would have played. And you might say, well, Joe Flacco ball, but you got to understand, AR keep the chains moving. Like when he's on, he know when he's feeling the game and he taking off running at the right times and sliding, it's kind of almost unstoppable if he's accurate most of the time on his deep balls. You can't stop him. He'll run around, throw it 80 yards, or take off for 15 yards, or he could go out for 40 because he's fast. He runs a 4.3. So I think you got to just hold on and see what happens. That's what I would do. I think he's worth that. He only played 6 games his whole career.
Yes,
Mooney is worth a big waiver claim. He's the best wide receiver on that team. I've said that a couple weeks ago. I hate to say it. I love Drake London. I think that he's good. I think Kyle Pitts is good. But Mooney is the best separator. He's the best route runner on that team. Let me see. MD says fantasy a sick addition though. I done learned that as well. Shit, I be on a crazy high some weeks and then want to die just cause a player got injured. Right. That's how fantasy is. A says Fields not starting no more. Really? That's why I don't want no part of Pittsburgh. I don't want nobody on that team. No, other than the defense. I don't want no Najee right now. Najee gonna be good later in the season because he's a cold weather running back. But I don't want George Pickens because they not giving him the snaps and the targets. Calvin Austin, Pat Frymuth is okay for a tight end. It's terrible for Pittsburgh. If they bench Fields, it's garbage. This is garbage. They play a musical chairs with players.
Chiefs fan said he changed
The PPR to 0.5. Wow, that's crazy. Harami says, TD, I have Hurts coming back from a bye week. Do I keep Justin Fields as a backup or drop him for a waiver wire depth? I say hold on to him. And then after this week, if he does, if you could tell the coaches don't want to put him back in, or Russell, last name Wilson, playing good, then you can drop him. But I would just hold on to him and play Hurts.
Chief says
James Conner or Mooney. I'm going to go with the running back, a healthy running back. As long as James Conner is healthy, I'm going with James Conner over Mooney. Jay Smell says, should I trade Metcalf for James Conner or Mooney? I would say trade Metcalf for, if you don't need Metcalf, I'll say go ahead and get that running back depth.
Yeah, James
Conner and Mooney. Yeah. So you can get James Conner and Mooney? Yes, I would do that for both of them. C.A. Jefferson said, Breach and ETN stressing me out. Yeah, man, it's gonna be rough for Breach. It's gonna be rough for ETN. I think ETN can get traded to a team and end up balling, but Breach is gonna be tough. You might have missed the window to trade him. It
be like that sometimes.
So you got to move on, bro. Keep working the waiver wire. You'll be okay. Isaac says, I got Deshaun. How do I get rid of him in Dynasty? Drop them, but don't drop them, right? You can't get rid of them. Sometimes guys gonna rot on your team. Either they gonna prevail or rot. Sometimes we like look at Sam Darnold. We thought Sam Darnold was gonna rot on some people's teams. He didn't.
He came back to life.
Deshaun could come back to life. So hold on to him. Cameron Austin. Cameron says, can I drop Zach Charbonnet and pick up Tank on the waivers? Yes, you can do that. If you need a wide receiver, you making room for Tank to play as a flex. I think Zach Charbonnet is a premium handcuff, so you want to be careful with that. I would try to find somebody else, but bro, in a vacuum for the little bit of information that you gave me, which is okay because this is live, I guess I say yeah because I believe in Tank. A lot of people say they don't like Tank. I believe in Tank. CJ Stroud talked too much about Tank Dell all year. They asked him if you could pick any wide receiver ever in the history of the game, who would you pick? He said Tank Dell. He didn't say Jerry. He didn't say Randy Moss. He didn't say Calvin Johnson. He said Tank Dell. So I'm going to keep trying to hold on to Tank Dell and see what's going to happen, especially with Nico being out.
But I
would prefer you hold on to Zach Charbonnet. He's a premium handcuff.
RG says,
how do you feel about picking up Juju? I'm not gonna call him doo-doo no more. Hey, not now. He looked like 6 years ago, Juju. That knee wasn't bothering him. Juju was getting yak and all that. Juju looked nice. I definitely would pick him up. He's definitely worth a pickup. I wouldn't spend like a high waiver wire priority on him, a lot of fab, but I would definitely pick him up. Conscious says, I'm holding Fields behind Love. He says, I take Sterling Sharp. Okay. I don't know what's going on in the chat.
Right. I agree,
Don. Juju will be nice until that knee acts up. I agree. The Chosen One says, uh-oh. Harami says, Javonte Williams or Najee rested. Okay, I did that one. That was Najee rest of the season for the third or fourth quadrant.
The Chosen One says,
Javonte Williams or Bucky for RB2. Right now, they got a little heat going on. I'm gonna go with Javonte slightly over Bucky. Don't drop Bucky, but I would play Javonte slightly over Bucky.
And we look at the matchup.
Yeah, I would go with Javonte. He's catching passes and he's getting goal line touches. Yep, we close to 50 likes. User says TD my RBs are B. John, Mason, Bucky, Algier, Pacheco on R. I got Laporta, Kincaid, Nico, Ayok, Debo, Pittman. Who you think I should move to get some more RB there? Okay, thank you for helping me because I couldn't go back and find the comment. Okay, so you got Pacheco on IR, so that's not even going to help you. Bro, it's going to have to be Laporta or Kincaid. You can't hold, because I'm not going to tell you to drop B. John or Mason. I wanted to say Algier, but I don't want you to draft your premium handcuff, and I don't want you to also to drop Bucky when he is on the way to take over that position eventually, right? So I would say you're going to have to let go one of your... I probably would let Kincaid go. If Kincaid can't do it now, then when he's going to do it? So I probably would try to trade Kincaid or something or just drop him. That's what I would do.
Don says, hey, TD,
would you trade Fields, Flowers, and Puka? Fields, Flowers, and Puka for Mahomes and Debo? No. I'm keeping Flowers and Puka. I don't think Mahomes is going to be that type of fantasy quarterback this year. So I will hold on to Flowers and Puka. I can get Bigsby or Mooney with the extra roster spot. Okay. Definitely get Bigsby.
But if you need a starting wide
Receiver, Mooney the number one waiver priority, bro. If he's out there, you got to pick him up. He can start as a wide receiver too.
So if you need a wide receiver, do that.
With an extra roster. Fields, AR, AJ Brown, DK, Brian Thomas Jr., Flowers, Wicks, and Downs. Puka equals toast. Yeah, I would I can get Bigsby or
Mooney with the extra roster spot. I think Mooney is a
start for you right now. If you got room, the best player right now, the outside of like AJ Brown and Brian Thomas and DK, Mooney. If you need a starter, bro, I would say get Mooney. But I think you need to stash Bigsby. So it just depends on what you need, how you feel about your team.
MD says my team is
Daniels at quarterback, Javonte, Tracy, Mostert, Saquon, Puka, Devontae, Smith, Moore, J-Mo, Adunze, Coleman, Pitts, Ingram. I'm 2-3 in PPR and proudly winning this week. I want to upgrade RB2. Yeah, because you need, and Adunze slowing your team down. Yeah, you need an RB2. So pick up like Tanks Bigsby or somebody that help put some more depth and that can come into a strong role. Brendan Johnson says, what order would you pick up the 3 backs you got on the poll? Okay, let me see. So I'm going to start from this week. I need to win, right? I got to get wins. Tyrone Tracy, Chase Brown, and Tank Bigsby. But Tank Bigsby got the best long term where he can be 100% the starter for the rest of the season, even if ETN don't go down with an injury. But Tracy, damn, I think I misspelled Tracy too. Tyrone Tracy, guys, it's for this week. Chase Brown, you can start him this week. Tank Bigsby, you can start him, but ETN still playing too. So
that's how I would do it.
Tyrone Tracy, Chase Brown, Tank Bigsby. Don says, Puka, his PCL injury is going to make that leg unstable when cutting like a wobbly table until the offseason. Okay, thank you, Don, for putting me on game. Wow. Don says Puka is not going to be able to play this year with that bad PCL. It's not going to be stable enough. I'm going to consider that. Don said, I'm telling you factual shit about this injury. Puka will be fine next season. Yeah, man. TD, you been on Brian Thomas Jr., right? Yes, I have. Mr. G says, oh, here we go with this shit.
Losing my spots. Let's see.
Let me get to my
spot, guy. Okay.
Mr. G says, would you pick up Brooks and drop Wicks or pick up Downs? Pick up Downs over Wicks and Brooks. My running backs are Mixon, Mason, Pacheco, Braylon Allen. My wide receivers are Cup, Wicks, Waddle, Neighbors, Wan'Dale, Robinson, and can only hold 4 wide receivers.
So, yeah, you got to drop Wicks
and put Downs in that situation with Waddle and Neighbors. My running backs are Mix and Mason. You started Mason and Braylon Allen. Them the only guys that you got. You need to go find some more running backs. You need to pick up a running back off waivers and stash them. Even if you don't put a waiver priority in them, you just green bean them. You got to do that. You need some more depth if you can.
If you can't, then I get it.
But yes, I would pick up Downs. Yankees says Josh Downs or Wan'Dale.
That's a great one.
That's tomato. That's the best tomato right there. Those guys are very, very similar. Man, I'm gonna go with Josh Downs slightly over Wan'Dale. I think Josh Downs got a little bit more touchdown upside. Just a little bit more than Wan'Dale, but they both basically the same player. Conscious says I'm holding Spears, Justin, and Algier. All these all worth a spot. Are these all worth a spot still? Yes. Yes. Spears definitely, Algier definitely, and Justice. He's a spot start. I may have to play Dobbs or one of them this week if Nico is out. I'm putting in a claim for Mooney. Someone dropped. Yes, you got to go get Mooney. You got to go get Mooney. The Muddy G says bye weeks have me starting Walker and Sharman. I did that, and I've been doing that a lot. Man, I start a lot of guys on the same team. That's the way I like to play. I like to squeeze backfields. I don't like starting two from the same team. I do. I think because one of those guys gonna hit. Now Walker and Charbonnet is not as good as David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, but it's okay. Somebody gonna ball. So if Walker go down, you gonna get it. Charbonnet could balance everything out. I like playing two running backs on the same team. That's elite. Charbonnet he plays passing downs.
Morton Castillo
Says, what do you think about Calvin Ridley? I'm not on him at all. I think he was overpaid. I never want him. Not that he sucked. It's just he can't be a number one for a team. But I think he's a great number two, a great route runner number two. But I'm not looking to him for him on fantasy or trying to play him. Brandon says, what up, bruh? Is Jerome Ford a drop for these waiver wire guys? Love the content. He can be, especially for Tank Bigsby, especially with Nick Chubb coming back. Jerome Ford is still going to be getting good value, but it's not going to be like the way it was before. So I would try to move off for Ford. I would preferably want to trade him, but if you got to drop him to get Tanks Bigsby or Tyrone Tracy, I think it's a good move. Yes, Elisa, Rashid Rice is out for the season. He's not coming back. Rashid Rice is out for the season. Come on, Father 3. Quit giving them game, bruh. Quit giving them game. That's facts right there. That's facts. You get your chance. People, they move on, man. Sometimes it ain't for you. Sometimes you go get another chance on another team. Like, look at Sam Darnold. Carolina wasn't it. The Jets wasn't it. San Francisco wasn't it. But Minnesota was it. Just like jobs. You ever see people at jobs like, man, this guy, he's a bad worker. And this dude ended up being rich and starting a business. And that business that he left that said he was a bad worker can't even touch him. Right? That's how life works, man. You got to go find somewhere where you accepted it. So I think Wicks did miss his window. So basically, Father 3 he had a comment. He says, TD, I said the same thing about Wicks. Football is like life. Your opportunity window is very small. Facts. Yep, appreciate that, Brandon. The Don says Rice goes down, then a few days later, Dobbs skips practice because of trade rumors. Facts. The Don says I'm dropping Ford this week. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you feel, you got your team made up. That's why I always tell y'all guys, I don't know your team because it's different strategy. I can drop, I drop certain guys sometimes that most people want to hold on to, but I got to because it's my plan for my team. Houston defense at New England. I like the Chargers defense at Denver, but I would go with Houston defense at New England. Don says I can get the Eagles defense maybe, but if that falls through, I'm going Houston. Right. The Eagles defense, those D tackles are good, but they ain't been playing as good as I want them to. Pompad says, hello, brother. Good morning. Yes, sir. Pacheco, Zach Moss for A-Chain? Yes, sir. I would do that in a heartbeat. Cameron Austin. Cameron Austin says Pacheco, Zach Moss for A-Chain. Yes, I'm doing that. Big Will says Patriots are making a quarterback change from Brissett to Drake May. What do you think about Drake May and stacking him with Polk every week? Yes, I think you got to let May stash him, and you got to let him mature and see what it's gonna become. It could hit. Same thing with and then if you got Polk, just hold on to him. So I'm not telling you to start Drake May this week, but watch it and see what happens. If he go for a crazy game, that's okay. You can't sit there and try to you can't be a sucker. And what I mean is, you can't, every time a girl come up to you, be like, hey man, you fine, you want to sleep with me? You can't do it, right? If you do that, bad things can happen. So same thing with quarterback. You got to try him. You got to, you know what? You cute. Like you dating a girl. Hey, you cute. You know, yeah, we can go to the movies. I'm gonna feel you out, see what you're about as a grown man. Like, you just can't, every time a woman come up to you, can't be, oh my God, that's my girlfriend. Same thing with quarterbacks or other players. Sometimes you got to put them on your bench and just see what they're gonna be, and they end up being something special for you. But I wouldn't start them right away. What's going on, Sean Bonds? What's up, bruh? Conscious Machine says Quentin Johnson is on my waivers. Should I grab him if no one claims him off waivers? Yes, if you got room on your team. Yankee says Steelers, Chargers, Packers, or Texans D for this week in long term. I'm going with Texas, and then I'm going with the Packers defense for long term.
Got a super chat
In the house by Sean Bonds. Appreciate that, bruh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eddie Machiavelli says, "What's up, bro? What's your thoughts on AJ Brown this season? He gonna be a stud when he comes back. He's got that hamstring should be healed up right now, and I think the Eagles' offense is gonna be a great offense. I think Saquon and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown gonna eat, and Dallas Guard gonna have certain games too. So I'm okay. I love AJ Brown. I mean, I didn't want to draft him in the first round, but at this point in time, if I could get him for the right value, I think he's great. He's a Hall of Famer. As long as he don't like have a career in an injury. Big Silver says trade my Devontae Adams for Breach Hall and Pickens. No, hold on to Devontae Adams don't trade for Breach Hall. All right.
Sean Bond says
Thoughts on Braylon Allen, bruh? Stash him. He's gonna be fine. You got to give him time, man. He's a stash. I think stash is probably the most important thing. I think stashing is bigger than actually drafting. I think stashing is the most important thing. You know how many times I stash players for 5, 6 weeks and they end up being great? All type of different players, quarterbacks, tight ends. I think you got to stash guys. I'm stash Braylon Allen, never ever drop him, because we know what's going on with the Jets, and they could trade Breach Hall. If they trade Breach Hall, then you have a league winner with Braylon Allen.
now could you drop him in the
Playoffs, because Breach is gonna be there and nobody's hurt, and you need to make a move. Yes, but right now in the season, you can never drop Braylon Allen. He's that type of guy. You just got to kind of watch and fill it out and see what happens. Injuries happens, trades, all type of stuff. Coaches getting fired. Let's see.
Let me get back to my spot, guys.
Let's see. No, I would keep. I would be Silver. I would hold on to Devontae Adams.
Um,
Broad Street Bullies says fantasy football of Broad Street Bullies fantasy football says Eric All might be a potential breakout down the road. He already ate into Mike Gesicki snaps already. I believe he taking the same trajectory as Trey McBride last season when he eventually took the job. Thank you, Broad Street Bullies. I like that. Okay. Cause I'm like, man, I see Eric Hall, I see his name, and I see him on the team, but I'm like, he just some third, fourth tight end. You know how tight ends, man, they be don't nobody be knowing who these guys are. But if I see him, man, I'm gonna try to go get him in Dynasty and stash him. Conscious Machine said we almost got 50 likes. Appreciate it. Conscious says I like 84 on the Saints. I was number 84 too. You talking about Juwan Johnson? I think that's Juwan Johnson. Conscious Machine says Flacco got me to the championship last year. Smoke me this week 5 with Jamar and IU. Yeah. Yeah, you had to play against Jamar. That's rough. You know it, Kales. Daniel Jones.
it's funny how life come.
Hey, I might have been a year early on him. This might be his year. Fair Game Brian says not official email. Okay, Fair Game Brian is not official email. Appreciate you, bro. Guys, I'm like, what's the show with Will Ferrell? Anchorman. If I see it on the screen, I'm gonna read it. If I see it on the screen, I'm gonna read it. He says Ben had Chase Brown, but Ramondre Stevenson got released. Oh, okay. You scared me there. I said I was like released. Where Ramondre got released, you talk about somebody dropped him in your league. Yes, pick him up. Thinking about dropping Rashad White for him. Yes, if Ramondre, I would rather have Ramondre than Rashad White. Yeah, Ramondre should not be on your waivers. And I would tell you Rashad White shouldn't be on your waivers, but the better of the two would be Ramondre. Conscious Machine says Jalen Wright is available. Who would you want, Spears or Wright? For this week, Spears. For the future, I would say hold on to Wright, but I think Spears probably might be just a better overall play. Only way I would really Wright is going to have any value, bro, what is going to be real good for you if A-Chain is out for multiple weeks. If A-Chain only out for 1 week, then Jalen Wright just a spot start. So long as A-Chain is healthy, Wright is never going to be able to hit his potential. Spears could hit big games with Tony Pollard. Whip Tony Pollard out, it doesn't matter. Spears can have big games. So I would say Spears over Jalen Wright for fantasy and redraft. Don says Mooney is money, TD. Facts, yes. Mooney is that guy. He's the best wide receiver on that team. Pure wide receiver. Yes, and I agree. A-Chain should be healthy, Conscious. Don says Judy gonna go off if they play Jameis. Right, and so is Amari Cooper. I agree with that. I don't know when they're gonna do it, but yes. Joe Garcia, he said, would you drop Deontay for Tank or Tolbert? No, do not drop Deontay Johnson. I want you to pick up Tank or Tolbert, both preferably, but do not drop Deontay Johnson. No, sir. What's going on, Siobhan? I see you back again. Conscious says ETN has always been overrated in my opinion. Right, but he still had been RB1 for like 6-7 weeks, and that right there can get you into the fantasy football playoffs. He wasn't a great runner at Clemson, more of a gadget receiving back for Lawrence. Facts. Don says laugh out loud. Fields is still the starter. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Don says Fields being benched is straight up FUD. They have Wilson playing with the second unit. Right. Got a super chat in the building by the professor. The professor. Yes, appreciate you, bro. He says full PPR offer Aaron Jones and Jamison Williams. No, Javonte Williams and J-Mo thoughts. Offered Aaron Jones. No. I'm holding on to Javonte and J-Mo. Aaron Jones, he's good. But at this point in time, if you was in the fantasy football, get ready to go to the fantasy football playoffs, and Aaron Jones was healthy, then I would say, yeah, because you only need him for 4 games or 3 games or 2 games. Just depends on your fantasy football playoffs. But this early in the season, I'd rather keep Javonte and J-Mo.
What's up, Dello?
Michael White says, should I drop Keenan Allen? You can drop him if for the right player in redraft. Don says, Juju will be nice until that knee acts up. Facts. The Don says, Keenan Allen is washed. Go with fresh legs. He might be okay, but right now you got to move on. You got to do what you got to do. Broad Street Bully says trades James Cook for Marvin Harrison on one of my leagues. What do you think about that? I like that. If you got good running back depth, go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Yes, I like that. The Don says, I got you conscious. I thought you said 50. TD said close to 50, and I'm like, no, you already there. Right.
User 279 says,
thank you, TD, bruh. Anytime. Brandon says, drop Wicks for J-Mo or Mooney. I would drop Wicks for Mooney. I would drop Wicks for Mooney. I love J-Mo too, but Mooney is him. Mooney looked like he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver. The Don says, TD, my phone died. When you got to my question, I can't add a wide receiver without dropping anyone. Okay. I can't add a wide receiver without. Vegas thinks Mahomes is going to put up crazy numbers this season. I think KC kills it after the bye. You could be right. It depends on if they see what's going on. They might get D-Hop or Christian Watson or another wide receiver, then all of that changes. Pat Mahomes is going to be okay for real life, but fantasy football, that's different. Fantasy football doesn't make you a great quarterback. Tony Romo was a great fantasy football quarterback, but he wasn't winning the big games. Winning big games is what the NFL is about, no matter what your stats is. That's why Joe Flacco was a really good quarterback and won a championship. His stats was never like 300 yards a game. It was more like 240, 250. And when he get in the playoffs, he would throw for 300 because he would do what he needed to do.
So, yeah, I just think Mahomes
is trying to win championships, and I don't know if his fantasy numbers are going to be consistent like we want it to be. But if he gets
some weapons, who knows? Redman
says, I got Joe Burrow. I got Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. They got me 110 this week. Way to squeeze. That's a nice stack. I talked about that stack. I actually wasn't drafting Burrow and Chase. I wanted to see it first. But I said you got to give them respect. If they are on and they on the same page, they can win you weeks by themselves. And I talked about wait for a couple weeks and go trade for him once everything got going. I think Chase may get his deal quicker than sooner because he's out there playing. And they need to win. If they go out and win next week against the Giants, then I think Chase probably should be getting his deal and he'd be healthy. I mean, he'll be more happier. Yankee says, my running backs are JT, Monty, Allen, Najee, Gibson. JT.
Monty, Braylon Allen, Najee Gibson. I put a claim
in for Rico and Bigsby. Okay. Thoughts on dropping Najee for Downs or Ty Chandler? So if you can start Downs in your lineup, yes, I would definitely do it. I wouldn't drop Najee for Ty Chandler. Unless Aaron Jones is out for a significant amount of time. For I would say at least like 3 to 4 weeks. Other than that, Aaron Jones coming back and get his role. Ty Chandler only going to be a spot star. So if you want to drop Najee for a spot start to win, that's fine. Downs is going to be good all year long. All right, guys, my phone was going dead, so we getting down to the nitty gritty here. So you want to get your question answered, make sure you super chat. Carchenzo says, what are your thoughts about Juju? I think he's a good spot start. And as long as that knee healthy, he's going to be solid. Then they are trying to bring in some other wide receivers, so you got to be careful for us thinking he's going to be a long-term plan. I don't think he's long-term, but I think he always going to get a couple targets a game. Yes, you should pick AJB. Should I pick up Tony Pollard? Yes, you should pick up Tony Pollard. He should not be on your waivers.
Cameron said,
Says Zach Moss, Najee Harris, rest of the season. I'm going with Najee Harris. Andrew Burrow says, what's up, bro? Do I start Tracy, Singletary, or Bucky? My running backs are Kyron, Cook, Hunt, and Bucky. Thanks, bro. I'm starting. Do I start Tracy? You got to start Tracy over Bucky. Tracy over Bucky. If Singletary is active, then I will probably go with Bucky. If Singletary plays this week. I don't think he's going to play. They probably going to say, well, you good, because Tracy played really well. So I think I would definitely start Tracy over Bucky. My running backs are Kyron, Cook. Yeah, I would start Tracy.
AJB says, I just
Traded Connor and Godwin for Hill. What you think?
If you what these guys
Was like wide receiver 3s and running back 4s and 3s for you, yes. But in all the leagues that I'm in, I got to start Godwin and Connor. So I couldn't do that unless I was like 5-1 or 4-1, and hell yeah, I would do it because I'm getting Tyreek Hill with Tua. If Tua goes down, man, it might be rough for you. But if Tua plays, this gonna be a great trade. There might be a league-winning trade. That's cutting edge, bro.
To be able to do that and wait on Tua.
And don't wait till it get close to Tua coming back. That's why you got that trade. If Tua's get ready to come back, you wouldn't have got that trade. Cash Bandit says, what's good, everyone? By the way, I did a kickflip earlier now. Okay. Kale says, pick up Daniel Jones if you need him. He been balling under the radar. Facts. Joe Garcia says, I have Vikings on the bye. Don't want to drop. Picking up. I have Vikings on the bye. Do not want to drop. Picking up defense for fire. Picking up definitely for fire move. I have Pitts as my starting tight end. So you saying you have the Vikings. They on a bye. Don't want to drop. Picking up defense.
You need to pick up
a defense. I would say pick up
Houston or
the Eagles are not a bad pickup either. The Eagles are not bad. The Steelers. And you got Freiermuth and Pitts. I would start Pitts over Freiermuth this week. Yeah, let's try to get them likes up. Appreciate that, Conscious. What's up, Dello?
Kale says,
How you feel about J-Mo rest of the season? You start him as a flex or a wide receiver 2 or 3. You could be a wide receiver 2. You start him every week. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You start him. You don't. If you don't start him and you wait to like some type of matchup or bye week, you will never get J-Mo boom games. J-Mo got to be in almost like a Jamar Chase. I know you might say you can't, you might not be able to process that, but that's the only way you can get like boom games from Christian Watson and J-Mo and these other boom guys. Rashid Shaheed, you have to just play him. So J-Mo, you gotta put him in the flex every single week and be able to take whatever comes with that. Dello says, I got Evans, Deontay, Zay, Terry, Eckler, and Pittman. Pick 2 wide receivers and a flex. Evans, Terry McLaurin, Evans, Terry McLaurin, and it's full PPR. I would go with Zay, and you could pivot if Joe Flacco is starting and go with Pittman. So if you want to play Pittman, if Joe Flacco started, I think Pittman is one of the best players. I think he's a top 12 wide receiver with Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco's not starting, you can go to Zay, and Zay is one of the safest guys in full PPR. What's going on, Charlene? Mooney is a wide receiver 1, Charlene. He is. I got to give it to you. You was on it, girl. You called it. He's a wide receiver 1. Would I hold Jaylen Warren? Probably not. No, I'm not holding on to that. I don't want nobody from Pittsburgh. Or maybe I might stash George Pickens. That's it. I don't want or Najee. George Pickens or Najee. Anybody else? I'm definitely not starting nobody, but I might stash those 2. Oh, Joe Garcia says Mick Bigsby. Okay. Put the question back in there and ask me again, Joe. Don says for sure Vegas had him finishing as the quarterback 2 in fantasy. Okay.
I don't know what we talking about here. Mahomes. Okay.
Mahomes. Okay, that's why I think Mahomes is a great buy low. Okay, he could be a great buy low. Maybe you're right, man. I'm not gonna sit there and doubt Pat Mahomes. That makes sense. That's a good. I actually think that's a great buy low. I'm not. Am I gonna do it? Probably not. Tingley says, "Hey yo, who could I drop to pick up a running back? My bench is Kirk, Mostert, Hunt, Algier, have Bijan, AR, have Fields, Andrews, have Likely." I would drop Christian Kirk or Raheem Mostert. Christian Kirk or Raheem Mostert, especially if A-Chain comes back
next week.
Dash 511 says, lost Rasheed Rice. Should I trade McLaurin and Dobbins to get A.J. Brown? I like McLaurin. I think you need to hold on to McLaurin. You could trade Dobbins and something else to get A.J. Brown, but I think you should be holding on to McLaurin. Was offered Devontae Smith, Josh Down for Deontay. Yes, I would take. I'd take both of those trades. I'd take Devontae Smith for Deontay or Josh Downs for Deontay. Yes, I would take that. Don says Connor and Godwin for Hill right now. It's bad. Tua comes back in a few weeks, but keep in mind the Dolphins have a bad O-line, so if he goes down, it's a wrap. I don't think that O-line is bad. I just think that he could go down again. Um, Don says Steelers have to trade for a running back if they serious this season. Warren and Patterson have missed too much time. Right. Charlene says I would start Pickens if Wilson is starting. Yeah, that makes sense, but Pickens got in trouble. They only gave him 20 snaps. I don't want to play a player that's getting 20 snaps on the team because they mad at him. I'm not taking that risk in fantasy. There's no way no other team is going to bench their number one wide receiver. So I don't like that. King of Nike says Kyler Murray, Ramondre, Bucky, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Joe Mixon, McBride, A.J. Brown, Tyreek, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, JSN Leggett, wide receivers and running back starts. Okay, so okay, I think I know what you're saying. I might give you too many players, but I'm gonna give you the starts. Kyler Murray is an easy start. McBride is an easy start. I'm gonna give you 3 wide receivers. Zay Flowers, A.J. Brown, and I would play Josh Downs over Tyreek until Tua gets back. But once Tua get back, it'll be Tyreek, A.J. Brown, and Zay Flowers. You also can throw in Michael Pittman if you want to put him in over Tyreek and play Michael Pittman over Josh Downs, or play Michael Pittman over Zay. But it's all about if Joe Flacco is playing, you almost got to get Michael Pittman out there, kind of almost Josh Downs too. But I wouldn't tell you to start both, but you could from this team, man. The way Joe Flacco volume is, he's throwing the ball a lot. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna go through that again. Your running back should be quarterback Kyler Murray. Running back should be Ramondre and Chase Brown. Kyler Murray, Ramondre, Chase Brown. Your 3 wide receivers should be A.J. Brown, Zay Flowers, and Josh Downs. And your tight end should be McBride. Appreciate that, King of Nike. Appreciate that. Charlene said, remember Fields played with Mooney. Right. Yep, I remember that. Jacob, what's up, brother? He said, what's good, TD? Would you trade Moss and Waddle for DJ Moore? Zach Moss, yes. Waddle, at this point in time, why not? Yes. Tua ain't coming back for a while. Go ahead. Waddle, he might be good then, but you might not can't wait then. So I'm okay with that move. That's a solid move. That's a B move, B+. Did you get that? Let me see. Let me delete that out. Shawty says Cowboys will run Rico to the ground or they lose a lot of games. Then they will put in Zeke. Right. I love Rico. I'm playing Rico every week. King of Nike says, appreciate that, bro. No, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I just hopefully that I got to your question the correct way. I wanted to make sure I got your stars right. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the members. Y'all guys are great. Siobhan says, any defense suggestions I may have missed? No, outside of Houston defense. We like Houston. One person said they like the Eagles. I think that's a sleeper. The Eagles defense is a sleeper against that matchup that they got. The Browns, which is Deshaun is playing bad. He could go out there and ball, but I think the Eagles is a matchup that you could play. Like, that's a good matchup. So I appreciate all of y'all guys. Y'all always showing support, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. I'm gonna try to do videos. I'm gonna try to get in my videos every day, guys. I had a lot to do, but I put it to the side. I need to do something with my son. I might be going on vacation in a couple of weeks. But I want to make sure. But even if I'm on vacation, I'm still gonna do my lives and do waivers. I'm not gonna miss a day. But I want to do more videos. It's guys, I be wanting to do videos in the morning, but at my job, sometimes I have a lot of tickets and I just can't do a video. So when I get home, all of a sudden I gotta go and do a little bit of research. I mean, I've been doing research, but I have to make sure that I got everything lined out. So I just want to tell y'all I'm trying to do videos every day. So I apologize. And I'm gonna try to do fantasy football after dark on Saturdays. I think that's really good content. Me and Harambe, we're gonna try to start that off again. I might not can't wait to 11. That's just too long for me to wait all day. But I'm gonna try to do some content on Saturday, maybe a couple shows. Drop fields for dimes? No. But I think you should play Daniel Jones for certain matchups over. I think right now Daniel Jones in fantasy is a better quarterback than Fields in fantasy. So yes, I do, but I'm not gonna tell you to drop Fields. But I think you do. If you like that move, I think you got to go get Daniel Jones right now, because if he has one more good game, he's not going to be out there. So I think this is the week to go get him. The Chargers DST, yes, that's another one. I actually like the Eagles DST a little bit over the Chargers, but the Chargers got a good defense. Hopefully Joey Bosa is coming back and Darren James is coming off of the suspension. Yep. Thanks, TD. Get some sleep, bro. Yeah, you know I am. Yes, sir. Anytime. Y'all, appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe. Peace.